Hello again, it's Stinger Splash here with another video. Next batch of steelbooks from the complete UK DVD steelbook collection. I'm going to start off today with this series here, which is called Greatest Ever. A bit misleading really, because some of the titles in there aren't the greatest ever, but they were all released by the same studio, which was Sony and Universal combined, and these were basically the first time that you really got collections of films in a steelbook, rather than just one film or a trilogy of the same series. So we have them here. The first one is the Greatest Ever Heroes, which were based, I'm not quite sure on, certainly not real life, but there is The Shawshank Redemption, Gladiator, Catch a Fire, In the Name of the Father, and Philadelphia. So 5 interesting films there. The next one is Greatest Ever Action Heroes, True Lies, The Detonator, Bad Boys, The Foreigner, and Hard Target. Only watched a couple of those films, not heard of some of them. Then we have the Greatest Ever, classic horror, which gives you An American Werewolf in London, Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, The Thing, and The Relic. There's the Greatest Ever slasher movies. Again, not exactly the greatest ever, but we have Hostel, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Candyman, Urban Legend, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Not quite sure why that one's on there, because the first one was better. Then we have the Greatest Ever Gangsters, Scarface, Taxi Driver, Casino, Donnie Brasco, and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Again, Taxi Driver, Gangster, I don't know. Then there's contemporary war films. You get Black Hawk Down, Three Kings, Jarhead, Born on the 4th of July, and Casualties of War. And we have fantasy films, Nanny McPhee, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Labyrinth, Peter Pan, and Jumanji. These are quite difficult to show, because they sort of have an effect on them. It doesn't come up properly on camera, which is annoying. Then we have urban movies, 8 Mile, Boys in the Hood, Do the Right Thing, Lockdown, and Gridlocked. Then have Glory Be, the costume dramas. These I would never watch these, but it's part of the collection, so they're here. Here we have Elizabeth, The Room with the View, Sense and Sensibility, The Age of Innocence, and The Remains of the Day, and that was the first of 2 costume drama ones that they decided to honour us with. The other one has Atonement, Elizabeth, The Golden Age, Pride and Prejudice, Shakespeare in Love, and Vanity Fair. Then there's Greatest Ever Chick Flicks, with The Holiday, Made in Manhattan, Intolerable Cruelty, Along Came Polly, and 13 Going on 30. And lastly, this is the last of the 12 that they brought out, romantic comedies, which has Bridget Jones' Diary, Notting Hill, Sleepless in Seattle, My Best Friend's Wedding, and The Breakup. Just to show you what these look like inside, you basically have the films set up like this, with 5 films inside. Okay, spent enough time on them, so I'll just briefly go through the rest of the ones that I have here to show. These next ones are Miramax, from the Miramax series. They had 6 or 7 of these collector's editions. There's A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Most of these are really good covers. Next up there's Pearl Harbor, and all of these are 2-disc collector's editions. In general, Pulp Fiction, Cold Mountain, this one's actually a 3-disc set. It's Clark's, or Clark's X, it was called. There's Chicago, The Aviator, and finally Apocalypse Now collector's edition, I think it has both versions of the film on it, 2 discs. Next we're going to have a look at some more trilogies of film, well not really trilogies but 3 films put together. Here we have American Gangster, Gladiator and Black Hawk Down. I think that was a Ridley Scott triple, so it's more of a director's triple. This one I just got today actually, the one that I was looking for from my last video, the Twilight trilogy, which was not cheap to buy, but it was out of print, so got that finally. Never watched them though. Layer Cake, Snatch and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. I think that's a Guy Ritchie director's triple. This next set is called Guns, Girls and Gasoline. It's an interesting set. It actually had 6 films in it, which is the most at the time. You get The Fast and the Furious, Snatch, Easy Rider, Crank, Dead or Alive and Into the Blue. You get 6 films in one steelbook, which isn't easy to do. And these next 2 are some of my favourite steelbooks. This is the De Niro collection, which has Mean Streets, Cape Fear, Casino, Sleepers and Taxi Driver in it. These were by the same company that did The Greatest Ever, so they obviously put some discs in both sets. This is the Al Pacino collection, which actually has 6 films in it. And Justice for All, Carlito's Way, Scarface, Scent of a Woman, Sea of Love and Two for the Money. It's a really good set of films there. This next one is Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Extinction and Doom. Not quite sure why they didn't put all 3 Resident Evils together. I think they were from different companies. And this next one is another one that I'll never watch. Step Up, Step Up to the Streets and Honey, which at least has Jessica Alba in it to make up for the rest, but yeah. There's a few here that are just sort of random releases. This one is Metal, A Headbanger's Journey, so it's sort of interesting that's in a steelbook. Documentary about heavy metal. We have another music one here. This is Stereophonics Rewind, which is 2 discs. Basically has a documentary about them and also some live music. Big fan of Stereophonics. This one is actually a DVD interactive game, Little Britain the Game, which is probably the cheapest steelbook you'll ever find, because most places sell it for about 50p or £1. Not played it for many years, but it was alright. I like Little Britain. Next we have some horror films. Company of Wolves. This is one of the early steelbook releases. Quite hard to find. We have Diary of the Dead. This is a limited edition, but it's actually numbered on the back. 11131. We have the 3-disc Seriously Ultimate Edition of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Which is always an interesting film to see. Now we have some foreign movies. First up we have Cashern, which is another early steelbook by by Momentum. They have a lot of these steelbooks that are on the side. Next up we have John Woo in A Better Tomorrow Ultimate Edition. Well, apparently the transfer wasn't very good on this version. Next up we have 1900. This was an Italian sort of like mini-series starring Robert De Niro, Gerard Depardieu. And this version actually is sort of hard to find because I bought this when it first came out and there's actually a problem with it. Apparently like the credits are missing or something. So you're supposed to send the disc in and get a replacement, but I never bothered. Because when I found out it was far too late to do anything about it really. I doubt they do anything now. And they don't sell the steelbook anymore. Next up we have Romanzo Criminale, an Italian movie. This might have been a Play exclusive, but I couldn't remember, so I didn't add it in with them. This one's Days of Glory, 2-disc collector's edition. Won some Academy Awards a few years ago for the foreign film. And finally here we have another numbered set. This is a 3-disc edition of La Haye Ultimate Edition, French movie. That's number 1749. I don't know if you can see that on there. 1749 of 10,000, but again quite hard to find. And the last steelbooks for this video. There's some more here. We have Highlander, the Immortal Edition, which has now been re-released on Blu-ray, which I showed on my Blu-ray video. We have Scum 2-disc limited collector's edition. This has both versions of the film, the banned one, and then the theatrical one. That was an unseen version that was on for the BBC, which was too violent apparently. Some rape scenes in it from prison. This next one is another BBC film. This is The Firm, which is a football hooliganism film. Stars a young Phil Mitchell. Next up we have Jesus in Nazareth. This is an ITV DVD release. Robert Powell as Jesus. In this, I'm not quite sure if it's a movie or a miniseries, but it's over 6 hours long. So quite a watch, that one. This next one is Death Race, Jason Statham film. Really like the cover on that one. Quite an entertaining film as well. Just for cars smashing into each other, really. Here's an early Steelbook release. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall. Momentum release. Another Momentum release. These are early Steelbooks. This is one of the first Steelbooks around. 25th anniversary edition, silver anniversary edition of Flash Gordon. Just now being brought out with extra features, and the CD. The soundtrack is the 30th anniversary Blu-ray. Next up we have American Gangster, the extended collector's edition. There's also a single disc version in the Ridley Scott triple that I showed earlier. Next up we have Voltron, Volume 1, Collection 1. This was the only one released. They haven't even brought out the rest, so a bit disappointing because I've got them all on Region 1 tin. But I hope that they bring them all out on Steelbooks. I could sell the tins, but they haven't done it. This one didn't sell, and I think now you can buy it for about £4 or £5. This one was one that I didn't hear about for a long time. It had been out for ages, and I got it second hand for about £4. The King of New York, starring Christopher Walken, from Arrow Films, 2-disc set, and not many people know it's a Steelbook, so maybe some people will be able to find it now, but it shouldn't be too expensive really. Now this one was one of the first. This was the first one I ever got the first time round of collecting Steelbooks. One of the very first Steelbooks, Jewel, the Steven Spielberg film, and I love this movie. The fact that you never find out who or why the driver of the big truck is going after the guy in the car, Dennis Weaver. I'm not quite sure why they never went through that, but it was Steven Spielberg. So, and the last one here we have is with Neil and I, which is a 3-disc set, I think, 20th anniversary edition, 2 discs, and also you get the CD soundtrack of the film. Another really good 80s British movie. So that'll do for this video, and I'll come back if I've got enough time. I'll do another one now, which will look at Cinema Reserve collection. If not, I'll be back tomorrow with that one. And we'll also look at the definitive edition Steelbooks, maybe in the same video. And I've also got 3 HD DVD Steelbooks, the only 3 that were released, which were released in Germany. And I also have one more Xbox 360 game that I forgot to include in my game roundup, so I'll do that one as well. So there might only be one more video, we'll see. But thanks for viewing, and any comments I'd love to have. And thanks again for watching, and hopefully these videos have shown you the Steelbooks that are available, and you might want help trying to find some. I'm happy to try and help you search for some, because some of them aren't easy to find and some are. So thanks again, and goodbye for now.